nation, President Joseph Boakai nominates new officials in government affecting the Foreign Ministry and the Liberian Airport Authority. Liberia's development partners signed major funding agreement to support government's national development plan. Health Ministry benefits donation of 7 ambulances by the United Nations Development Program.
Since we entered the Ministry of Health, there has been transparency and accountability of every donor money and funds that enter this ministry.
And away from home in Ghana, Ghana braces for 3 weeks of power cuts. These and many more to come a little later. But first, here is my buddy, Anthony Vaughan, with a bulletin of news.
President Joseph Boakai has nominated additional officials of government affecting the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Liberia Airport Authority. According to an executive mansion release, President Boakai has appointed Madam Antoinette Wallow as Chief of Protocol of Liberia. At the Liberia Airport Authority, the president has named Jonathan Enders as Deputy Managing Director for Technical Services. The appointments are subject to confirmation by the Liberian Senate where applicable. President Joseph Boakai has officially commissioned members of the National Rice Committee constituted recently. The committee, among other things, is responsible for the formulation of strategies and policies that will ensure price stability and availability of the country's staple food. President Boakai, at the commissioning ceremony Thursday, urged the committee to work with relevant stakeholders to maintain the price of the commodity at an appreciable level across the country. The Liberian leader said the issue of rice as a political commodity must be handled with utmost seriousness and commitment. According to him, it is about time that Liberian-owned businesses take charge of importing and producing what they eat so as to boost economic activity and provide opportunities. Sweden and the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, have signed $300,000 United States agreement to support Liberia's National Development Plan. Swedish Ambassador to Liberia, Urban Sostrom, said such support requires interagency collaboration with civil society organizations and development partners to ensure the success of the plan. Ambassador Sostrom believes the development plan is crucial to ending poverty in the country. The Swedish ambassador also urged Liberians to unite and use the resources wisely for the development of the country. Poverty and corruption fight remains major challenges of corrupt and past governments. Meanwhile, Deputy Finance Minister for Economic Management, Depo Zuo, has emphasized public sector accountability and trustworthiness as the hallmark of the government of Liberia in the implementation of its developmental agenda. Minister Zuo said the national development planning process requires a collective effort of the government, civil society organizations, and development partners. According to him, building viable institutions is cardinal to achieving national development and accountability. Speaking at the signing of the 4 million Swedish krona agreement to support Liberia's national development plan, Minister Zuo re-emphasized the need to end public sector corruption. The United Nations Development Program, UNDP, has donated 7 ambulances worth over $354,000 United States to the Ministry of Health. The ambulances will be used by 7 of Liberia's 15 counties under the Accelerated Community Development Program. The benefiting counties from Friday's donation are Bomi, Lofa, Margibi, Maryland, Nimba, Riverses, and River G. UNDP Country Representative Louis Koken said the donation is intended to strengthen the ministry in delivering health services to the poor and rural population. He expressed the hope that the ambulances will beef up logistics at the health ministry and help reach out to people in last-mile villages. The Accelerated Community Development Program is the government of Liberia's initiative aimed at addressing the real needs of rural poor communities and to improve the country's overall human development. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Louis Poto has reassured partners of government's commitment to fighting corruption in the health sector. Dr. Poto vowed to always ensure accountability in the expenditure and use of money and supplies provided by partners. She lauded UNDP for providing ambulances to the ministry, promising that they will be used for a better quality health service deliverable for people in the rural counties. Dr. Poto added that the ministry is being restructured to meet the healthcare needs of the citizenry. She made the statement Friday when she received 7 ambulances from the United Nations Development Program under the Accelerated Community Development Program. LBS correspondents and reporters from across the country are set for a major upgrade. It followed the procurement of new gadgets, including smartphones, microphones, and laptops by the management of the Liberia Broadcasting System. LBS Director General Eugene Fangon said the gadgets are intended to enhance the quality of correspondents and reporters' work.
Ran to the president and said it is unfair for people, Liberians, to be watching the game here in Monrovia and in the counties. The people are not watching the games. How much do you need? I say a little over 300,000, but we can start there. So in the next 2 months, all around this country, our people will be watching television wherever they are.
Mr. Fangon said the gadgets will also strengthen news and program content gathering and production for the national television. The LBS boss disclosed the equipment were procured with funding from the entity's own revenue intakes. Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency Grand Crew County Commander Michael Gipley has disclosed plans to embark on a major campaign against the use of illicit drugs in the county. Commander Gipley said the increased wave of drugs abuse in the county has far-reaching negative implications on the country. The new Grand Crew LDEA commander made a statement during his induction as commander of the agency in the county. Commander Gipley replaces former Grand Crew County LDEA commander Augustine Weir. He also lauded the outgoing administration of the LDEA for making frantic efforts in the fight against illicit drugs in Grand Crew County. Sino County Detachment of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency has arrested a 35-year-old man, Prince Nimley, for being in possession of a huge quantity of narcotic substances. Our correspondent said the narcotics confiscated is worth more than 300,000 Liberian dollars. Suspect Nimley, during police investigation, admitted smuggling drugs into Sino County. Meanwhile, citizens in the county have vowed to continue working along with the LDEA in tracking down drug dealers in the area. A 49-year-old man, Amara Kone, has been forwarded to the Cestus City Magisterial Court for allegedly being in possession of narcotics. Suspect Kone was arrested by officers of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency detachment in the county following a tip-off. LDEA officers also confiscated kush, heroin, marijuana, and cocaine worth over 600,000 Liberian dollars from the suspect. Suspect Connor told LDEA officers he transported the drugs from Lofa to Riverses for a dealer in the Sand Beach Gold Camp zone. A delegation from the Education Ministry has embarked on its Western Liberia tour to assess challenges in public schools in that part of the country. The delegation is headed by Education Minister Dr. Jaso Jala. Our correspondent said Mr. Jala and delegation toured several public schools in the county and interacted with school administrators. The Education Minister ranked the Janet No. 3 school as the best public school in Bomi County. The Labor Ministry says it has resolved series of recent strike actions by aggrieved workers at AFCOM, a subsidiary of ArcelorMittal mining conglomerates in Grand Bassa and Nimba counties. More than 240 AFCOM workers had been protesting in recent weeks over alleged underpayment, failure to remunerate, and the illegal deduction of wages, among others. Labor Ministry says aggrieved AFCOM workers have agreed to withdraw a court case it earlier filed against the management. Following a social dialogue organized by the Labor Ministry, 2 separate memoranda of understanding were signed by representatives of the 2 striking AFCOM workers and management with several key provisions. The ministry noted the two MOUs bind the company to fully comply with key demands of the aggrieved workers and mandated them to immediately return to work. And Liberia has joined the rest of the world to mark World Blood Donor Day today, June 14, and it's been observed as a working holiday across Liberia. President Joseph Boakai, in a proclamation, called on the health ministry, relevant government agencies, local and international partners to initiate programs befitting the day. This year's celebration is under the global theme, 20 years of celebrating giving. Thank you, blood donors, and the local team, increasing voluntary non-paid blood donation to ensure access to safe blood in Liberia. According to a foreign ministry release, the team conveyed a message of encouragement that improved access to safe blood supply is possible and would turn the tide against maternal and neonatal mortality. At this point, we rejoin Hassan for continuation of Newsline.
Many thanks there to Anthony. Anthony, don't go yet. Did you donate blood today?
Unfortunately, no. I've been at Elbc since arriving this morning, so I haven't had the time to go and donate. Thank you.
Okay, Anthony promises to do one, so let's keep an eye on him. You listen to Elbc Newsline on 99.9 and other frequencies across Liberia. Some of the top stories we are following: President Joseph Boakai has nominated new officials in government affecting the Foreign Ministry and the Liberian Airport Authority. We start first from home. The management of the Liberia Broadcasting System has procured new gadgets for correspondents and reporters of the entity. Elbc's Director General, Honorable Eugene Lamine Fangon, said the gadgets are intended to enhance the quality of correspondence and reporters' work. He made the disclosure on Friday at his Elbc's office.
I asked him to put together some paperwork to see how much he can